All right. So here we have our shit. This is VS Code. Okay, I think I should build this because I just created a new class over here called interact component. So the thing that I'm doing is like allowing the player character, so this dude over here, we're actually in the game, to interact with anything. So say there's a trigger over here, as you can see this box. If I'm in this box and I press a certain button, then I'll be talking with or interacting with the object or the NPC. So I'll use this class to basically say what happens. You know how that works. So if I do, let me just build it to get these things out of the way. But yeah, see, my intelligence is working now, so I don't know what the deal is there. But yeah, so right now this is what respawn is doing when I press R when I die. So I built in this this respawn function using a certain key that I will press. So up here I bind all the keys to a certain function. So over here is the address. For interact, there's a respawn and fire. So if you press it, then whatever is binded to fire will be yeah, it'll carry that out. So yeah, so right now I was finished with respawn, and I'll show you how that works. But this is interact. So right now I'm just testing it. But yeah, if my player is alive, so if the controls are ready, then it just checks if the interact trigger is null or not. So like if I'm not in a trigger, then I won't, the rest of the code won't run. But yeah, I just want something to log out to show that like the interaction is working. But yeah, the desired function is like when I press the button and I'm in the interact trigger, then I start an interaction. And this interaction, this function over here, will basically open UI menus, or it will change something with a certain object, or if I'm talking to an NPC, it'll bring up the conversation menu, and then we move on from there. But we start every interaction with being in a trigger and pressing the button. So yeah, that's like one of the most simplest things. But yeah, you can see in the respawn over here that it can get a bit messy, you know. But you can obviously like put all of this into a function. I just like to have it like seen over here. So yeah. But yeah, let me show you something. Yeah, it just built now, so it should be fine. It is picking up. Okay, yeah, it's still picking up this, but that's fine. So if we go out of this and just get the hot reload back. So what this does is just making sure that that everything is up to date. So it'll make like a low sound like in the engine when it like communicates with each other. So when you create a new class, you normally just have it refresh itself. So yeah, I'm basically gonna be doing that. But yeah, but okay, while that's going, I will show you what's happening here. So let me just open it up in full. So get ready, 1 2 3 go. And during that like that 1 2 3 go, I wasn't able to move or whatever. So I could enable the player's function or not. Yeah. So you can see like the top bar over here is my health. The bottom bar below it is my maintenance bar. So the maintenance bar is well, it works in the back as if you get hit 3 times, it'll decrease. But it's basically something where the more you're getting hit, the more this bar goes down. The more this bar goes down, the more health damage you take. So if your bar's empty, then it's hitting you for like one shot will take you to half health. But if it's full, then only one shot will take me to like, like it will only bring it down by like 10% or something. So yeah. So this is what I'm able to do. I'm able to get this checkpoint that I wrote in recently. This is like the most recent feature that was added. So this works as like a Dark Souls checkpoint. Don't mind this dude over here. It works as a Dark Souls checkpoint where it doesn't reset the whole game, but it resets the enemies and the traps and just things within the level. So if I go through it now, and okay, yeah, let's go through it and die. So there you can see like my maintenance bar is going down. I'm taking more damage, much more damage, and I'm dead. So now when I'm dead, I can't move, I'm not detected, I'm just like off the game basically. And now my tick is also like disabled, so nothing that includes my character will be detected. So I can respawn with R, and that takes me back to this position where I set the checkpoint, where I got the checkpoint basically. And the game hasn't been reset. Like, this guy was still shooting at the same rate as he as he was when he was trying to shoot me earlier. But I basically wrote a script as to kill all the enemies and replace them. So if you do, like, there wasn't a guy there, if I kill everybody and die, then they'll all come back. Oh, and these that are being dropped at them are on an RNG counter, so, but it's only like a 50-50 chance of it being there or not there, so it's like a coin flip if it'll spawn, and that just got my health up to full. So, but it doesn't repair my maintenance, so if my maintenance is low, I can keep my health up, but then I can get shot and die in 2 hits. Yeah. So this is a maintenance station I made over here. It's invisible, but it's there. Don't worry about it. It's actually like a ear rape. So brace yourself. Yeah. So that's the sound that I'm like this. It's just a placeholder. But yeah. If my maintenance is low, then it will replenish it to full, and when it's full, it will stop replenishing. So that's why it's not like destroying your ears right now. Yeah, so I'm able to die, I'm able to respawn, I'm able to get these health pickups, I'm able to repair my tank, and yeah, I'm able to get whatever checkpoint, and it still keeps the data from the beginning of the game, because the game technically didn't reset. I just reset things within the game. So yeah, obviously I can shoot, yeah, and move just like a tank. So I can move backwards like that and then spin my whole thing around. So I'm fully like a tank. Because I coded my top piece, like the top part of this mesh, to follow the cursor, but keep it independent from my body. But my body is being controlled by my movement keys. So that's how that works. So I'm gonna go and win. I killed all the enemies in the area, and now I'm gonna kill the boss. If I don't die, okay, I died. But okay, I'll just go and win again. I don't have any buffer on my gun, so I can shoot as fast as I want to shoot. So that's kind of unfair. But yeah, tower's destroyed. You win. So now, this should actually take you to the next area. But since this is just a test, I'm able to die and win at the same time. So you'll see something weird on the UI. But I'm able to die. and just say that area is complete. Yeah, so I'm dead, but I won. So when I respawn, the boss will still be dead. Do you see there's no boss now? So it's almost like I completed that area, but I can still go through the area and fight its enemies. You know what I mean? Just like a Dark Souls respawn would work. So yeah. So just imagine I'm going through a new area now. And let me just get this health. And now I'm killing all the enemies. And I'll kill the boss, which will allow me to win again. So whatever is checking if I'm winning or not will be reset when you die and when you respawn. Oh, and checkpoint stations can also destroy your ears, but replenish your maintenance bar as well. So you can go back to checkpoints if you want a little bit, like, you know, of a refresher. Your health will naturally go up by itself, but if you want, you know, a easier replenish, you can use this these little health pickups over here. But yeah, so there's a bunch of features that have already been added, and with this already you can make a whole game, because as long as you make a level, have enemies that you can kill, and kill the boss and win, you can just, like, right after you beat the boss, they'll send you to a new level that you set up with your own fancy, like, hills and, you know, pathways and everything. But like the main objective, kill the enemies, kill the boss, survive, basically. So you can just like keep looping that to make something. Yeah, but I'm adding a bunch of other things like the interact, branching paths, so like choices, a shop, and the main point of the game is not to kill all the enemies. The main point is to actually defeat the boss and get through the door behind him. So that'll be the win screen. There won't really be a win screen, but like making it through the boss door, or like making it through the victory door behind the boss is your victory, basically, because you're entering a new area. So you won't actually see this message that's on the screen right now. You will see that you died, obviously, but yeah. And there'll be like traps in between, so they won't be like this, like drive up to the enemies, shoot them, and drive up to the boss and kill them. Like that's gonna be too simple. So yeah, it's gonna be way more fleshed out. This is a sandbox to test out the mechanics, because once all the mechanics is laid out and working, then you can build a game with that mechanics. So yeah, we can take a look at the script right now. And I didn't build. Okay, I'll just build it right now. But yeah, I can go from here and just, I don't know, we can set this up. This is the interact component. So similar to the checkpoint, the thing I want to do here is get the current player. So this thing is this is a variable right here for a actor. So any actor is like any entity, like a player or enemy or bullet or like anything tangible within the game that is something you can touch and feel is an actor. So I'm storing the player, which is the pawn, and it's the first pawn. So you start by 0, you don't start by 1, you start by 0, and it's getting the basically player 1. So yeah, it's getting this, so I'm gonna need this for my interact. But I'm gonna obviously have to create the variable in my header file. So I'm gonna have to declare it first, so it knows like what I'm talking about here. I'm actually gonna make it private. So private, and then we have it over there. So player tank is, this is how we would make a variable. So we're gonna need the class, and it's an A actor. So A for actor, but yes, it's an actor, but anything that will have that class will be assigned that A. So it'll actually be a player tank at the end of the day, if you understand that. And with pointers, we had a star. And yeah. So player tank is an A actor. So if we go back into our, I don't know why it's so messy up here all of a sudden. If we go up here, now it'll be casted as that actor. So yeah. So now if we go back into our checkpoint spawn component, we can actually just copy this to always tick. So this thing is just checking if the owner, so if whatever trigger, so the trigger is the owner, that invisible box that we saw, where, yeah. So the trigger is this. So if the player is inside the owner, which is this thing, and if the actor that is overlapping is the tank, like is the player, then carry out these instructions. So this will be kind of different for interact, where if you are overlapping different kinds of actors like NPCs or traps or a button that you want to press to open up a gate or whatever, there will be different functions written for that condition. So yeah, but things like this can be obviously a function, like I said, but I'll keep it like this and then refactor the code when I'm more comfortable with the environment that I'm laying out. Because everything is still like in planning. Once all the functions and the features and everything that makes the game like work, like makes the game like a lot of companies will make the problem of like create problems for themselves by creating graphics first, or creating graphics while they are making the actual meat. Then they don't really get well, they're putting hurdles in front of themselves because they're developing something that is still being developed. So in a graphic design sense or a publishing sense, it's like designing the book that the author is writing, but the author is not done with this book, so he's making changes here and there. So that gives you the hurdle of changing your design every time the author makes a change, where he could have just written the entire book, have it done, and then have no more changes further, write it off, and then the designer can come in and complete the whole design and don't have to worry about changes. Well, there might still be changes like down the line, but it won't be so intensive as like, setting something in place, changing it, setting something in place, changing it, and then being like, the author can just be like, no, scrap this whole thing, and then you just have to scrap all your design. And sometimes when things that you design rely on certain things, it can actually break the game by going through so much hectic changes. But anyway, yeah, something like this will be applied to the interact component over here. So yeah, something like this. Oh, I can also show you the checkpoints header file. So it's similar, as you can see, where not much is going on because all we need is oh wait, this is actually inherited, so this will actually be a tank, because a tank is part of a base pawn over here. So base pawn is the parent of this whole thing. So if I go to the tank and I go to the top here, you can see a tank is a child of a base pawn. And if you go into a base pawn, and remember A is for actor, then a base pawn is the child of a pawn. And a pawn is the child of an a actor. So you understand how that works. But yeah, there's certain things like that, like how they relate to each other, that you just have to like understand, and then you adapt your code to, you know, you can actually optimize your code better if you do something like that. So here we have that, and I think I don't have to include the header file because, do I have to include it? Okay, I should include it because even though this is made for actors, I still have to include tank because tank has the important things that we gotta interact with. So we don't include it in the header file. We include it in the constructor over here. So I'm gonna put it. Wait. So how this thing works? Okay, yeah. So I'm right. So I'll just have it like that. It's gonna give me the red squiggles because it doesn't recognize the file, but it will when I build. Yeah. So right now I'm not gonna put anything here, but I'm just gonna get the tank. So we can just refresh it. Since I changed something, now it will build it properly. So yeah, it's probably gonna pick up all the different classes and refresh them. So you'll see them like listed out here, like by numbers, like by the order that they are listed here. But yeah. But once I make that, then I can take something like this trigger box. I can just duplicate it. And now, if I drag this down over here, you'll see this thing has a checkpoint spawn and a maintenance repair. So this thing will repair your maintenance bar, and you'll be able to spawn with it. So it's a checkpoint and it's a repair station, as intended. But yeah, so I can use this trigger for my interact. So I can remove this, and you can apply these kind of components to any kind of like actor or anything like that, and it will do, yeah, it'll do whatever you code it, but it's more something that you will attach onto something, because in its core it's not something that has some tangibility. Like, it doesn't have a body, it doesn't have really a location in space. Its location is whatever you attach it to, if that makes sense. So I can take any trigger, and if it's something that I can overlap, then it can be a checkpoint, because the code is whatever. If the player is overlapping it, it will carry out certain instructions. So if I attach this onto the boss over here, then I can make him a checkpoint in itself. But that's weird. Like, yeah, yeah. So I'll actually drag on our interact component here. So I'll just leave it interact. So now this trigger now just got all the information that the interact class had. So if I go back into VS Code, now anything that is written in here will be, yeah, will be done. Same with our checkpoint over here. So yeah, so I can do the same thing where it's like, yeah, if it's the player tank, then tell it that the checkpoint is reached, or anything just to like test it out to see if it works. But yeah, this is just like a sneak peek into like what I'm busy with right now, and I can kind of show you my notes over here. This might be like a lot of information, but yeah, friendly NPCs that the player can chat to, and then the branching level path. So I'll just come up here and I'll tick whatever I did right, and then note things that I must still make. Like, this is checkpoints are also gonna keep all activated items and paths active, but I don't have items and paths yet, so I can't tick this off yet. So I just like made a note Yeah. And something about the pause menu and the main menu. I don't have the menus yet, so once I get the menus, then yeah. So yeah. So the health system is done. The maintenance system is done, and the checkpoints is done. So we just have like these to go, and we'll have finished the game by then. So yeah, this is the story, but like let's not go into that. um, but yeah, this is basically just a sneak peek into what uh this project entails and how far I am basically. But once I get the interact done, which is actually an exciting part for me because like I like to write dialogue or like set up actors and scenes and stuff like that. So with this interact component allows me to do those things because it's something the player can go up to and just start events. So yeah. But yeah, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. This has been just a introspective look at Unreal and how it will work with VS Code, and this is the basic of this game, running in the engine, and me just testing things, and yeah. Oh, and you can see by the smoke over here that like, yeah, when my maintenance bar gets damaged, then it will react. It is a bit buggy when it comes to bosses or certain things, but yeah, it can be controlled by a different system. But yeah, there's many ways to do a thing. So yeah. Oh, and wheelchair damage. You probably noticed that. Find a repair station ASAP. That's like a UI message, but if you know the story, you know why it says wheelchair. But yeah. Thanks for watching, guys.